What's going on, guys? It's September 27th. We're going to get right into it here for the trade recap. The trade of the day, this really was the best trade of the day. And well, we had a couple little issues earlier in the morning getting stopped out, break even, and the market made a big move down. But what we waited for here was really something that I was impressed with. We did it live on YouTube as well. So if you're not tuning in, make sure you tune in 9:15 a.m. We're trading live every morning. So this morning, what do we have? We had this big kind of, we'll start out with the 15-minute chart. We had this push up at open, and I talked about the idea that we were kind of going sideways here into open. We had this 15-minute range. I'm like, guys, let's just wait for that 15-minute range to break. What was interesting is we did get the 15-minute range breakout here from, well, I'm sorry, this is the act. We got the breakout of the earlier 15-minute range, and then we broke out one more time through this candle right there on the 15-minute breakout strategy, and we had a trap. We got trapped. We pulled back. So we did end up making like a 10 point, 20 point, 15 point move out of that breakout there, but this pullback was really nice. And then we ended up getting below this level right here at the 750s. Got right through that level at the 750s. We turned that was really impressive as well, because check this out. We turned that area right into resistance after breaking through that 15-minute opening range. So from the 50s all the way down there to the 05. So about a 50-point move. You could have gotten short there for that 15-minute range breakdown. And really, you know, you're chilling. Like, there's not really much maybe risking off the VWAP there at that point. So later on, we kind of chopped around. We got back up here to the 15-minute. We then sold off one more time. And this was a really nice move as well, chopping kind of back up there into the VWAP and then selling back down after getting above the 15-minute range and then below it once again. So the real move here for me was this setup right here. So we sold down and we had the low, you know, from earlier that we sold through, this little low right there. And then we put in this low right here. Well, guess what? We're thinking like, hey, we know there's a recent low from yesterday down there at the 60 area, 66. So we're thinking that the next, you know, point for this to move down would be down there to the 60s, right? Very simple idea here. And I was like, basically, we don't want to get short at the bottom of this trend. No way. We're getting short down here at the bottom, right? Like, there's just no point in getting short down there. So we basically want to see this kind of push back up, hit that trend line. I mean, this trend line was so obvious. It was there on the Lux Algo indicator as well, that blue trend line right there. But we had this trend line, and then we basically had these 3 points connecting, creating this channel. And look at how that channel is still being respected. And that channel is literally still being respected. We got down to the bottom of that channel. We pushed up. We then sold down again. So this was an interesting move too, because it kind of just like chopped and chopped, and it was like, okay, is it going to go? If you look here at like the 1 minute chart, look at how tight this thing got right there. Got really, really tight. And my entry here was basically looking for the break below this low. So, you know, as you see, we're putting in basically higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So the idea here is if we sell through this low, you know, the 25s right there, if we sell through that low, I think we then move down. And I also talked about this idea of just breaking right through 700. Like, you don't even have to get short here if you don't want. Wait for that 700 area to break, and then you're moved down. Like, if you're getting short there for the 700 break, look at that candle right there from the 06s right down there to the 91. So you could have gotten short right there, the 700s, put your stop at basically the high of this candle, break even or whatever you wanted to, and you never would have gotten anywhere near that stop. It did push back up into that level one more time, and then ended up selling all the way down here to the 45s. So an overall really great move. The key to this move here was being patient, and also basically realizing like, hey, look, it's kind of trappy. We're getting these pops, we're getting these drops, we're getting these pops. So what's going to happen? You know, if we go and we look at it like this, just to give you an idea that when we're at this low, we're like, well, am I going to get short down here? Like, am I going to get short here? I'm like, no. I would like to see it kind of push back up here into the VWAP. The VWAP at the time was like up here in the 50s, and we had all these little fair value gaps there on the 1 minute chart, but I think as well on the 3 minute chart, we had a nice little fair value gap here at the 10-20 level. And then after that, you're thinking like, well, you got that trend line right there. So I was really confident in the idea that this would push back up into this kind of 40 level here. And then we get that move down. We talked about it live on the stream. We traded it, and look at the market right now, even making more lows through the 640s right now. We got a pivot point down there at the 606s. So holding that trend line there, moving down, I would say this wants to test that trend line again. Kind of just moving to the bottom of that channel. The channel right now playing out beautifully. I mean, this is the 3-minute chart. And look at this. I mean, all day long, we have been in this channel. So what are you going to do? Well, you're gonna play the channel. Like, play the channel, my friends. Play the channel. And yeah, I mean, that was really just a good, solid setup today. We were patient. We waited. Had everybody in the stream kind of like, all right, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. There's our breakdown. It was interesting too because we basically just sat there. You know, we're like, do I want to get short? I didn't want to get short right there because like we need a trap. We need some type of trap here. And we got a little trap right here to this 43 level, and I was still like, okay, that's a good looking trap, but you know, we're not breaking through the lows of previous candles. Okay, that low right there at 18, and then we got this 26 low in that candle. So we're basically looking for our entry to break below these lows, right? We draw our line, and look, this not so much. Like, we're not trying to get short right there. We need more kind of consolidation. That low of that candle right there, 711. The low of this candle, 712. The low of this candle, 718. The low of that candle, 726. The low of this candle, 712. So we got the breakdown. We had our beautiful little channel, the trend, the action. So there it is. Another day, another dollar. If you guys want to learn more about trading futures and all that fun stuff, check out the link down below to check out Topstep, check out Market Flow Trader Community, and all of that. And we'll be back here live on YouTube, 9:15 a.m. live. It's free. Tune in. Peace to the Middle East, my friends.